it is. There's the man in pole position. A surprise for everybody. Driving without racing gloves is Ben Morgenrood from Randfontein in the Mazda. So that's a turn up for the books there, and alongside him on the grid is Hennie van der Linden, that big BP Nissan, that 300 ZX turbo machine. He won here the last time and he set up a record lap, and Hennie has stated that before he hangs up his helmet at the end of the year, everybody's trying to get him back again to come racing next year. Hennie said he's going to win the last 3 races of his career here at Kyalami and other places. So Hennie certainly wants to show them what it's all about. The difference between the two of them, Morgenrood did a lap at 1 minute 32,3 and Hennie a 1 minute 32,5. So there's very little in it indeed. This is the reason for the start delay. Just another motor car coming around to the line. That's number 40, which is Johan van Rensburg in his stanza, and then we'll get this race underway. It won't be just a few minutes. It'll have a rolling start lap. Right, the man in the front, in the center of your screen there, the Sabat Sierra, that's the animal, Willie Hepburn, right there with him at a 1 minute 33,4. He's right in there with him, just a half a second behind them as our cameraman moves to the side of the road. And in the third row, leading Class B, Dick Sorensen in the Sabat Skyline, and alongside him, I was just down in the pits talking to him a moment ago, Tony Viana in the Winfield BMW on the third row of the grid. And that's a surprise. He was changing the differential. He says that the car needs to get more revs. He won't be using 5th gear. He's going to be screaming that big 3.5 litre BMW motor in 4th gear as we go into the final 30 seconds before this rolling start lap. They'll follow that BMW M5 around, and then as it moves to the side of the circuit, this race will be on. There's Hennie van der Linden, the maestro tuner and modifier of any motor car in South Africa, well known for his Nissan Skylines, for Mercedes, BMW. He can certainly make them talk. He does BMWs as well, and produces a lot of horsepower out of standard motor cars. So things are starting to happen now as they go around on their rolling start lap. Left hand side of the screen, the Mazda of Morgenrood. Alongside him, Hennie van der Linden. In the center, the Sabat Sierra of Willie Hepburn, that big V8 Mustang engine Ford. Dick Sorensen's on the inside as they go around Gant's corner. There's Brian Bezaden on the Vista Skyline. Nicely turned out, those screaming Skylines. It's a 3 litre 6-cylinder as they come the 200 meters from Gant's into Yellow Pages. Then it's all acceleration, 300 meters to the Top Sport S's. The left-hander and the right-hander follows immediately afterwards. And the classes are run in unlimited class. They're actually up to 5 litre. They're going to be changed to 5.8 litre next year. There's going to be some magic racing coming up as well next year in Wesbank Racing. This is going through the second of the Top Sport S's. This is the 3 litre class of Class B. There's a 2 litre class and a 1600cc class. So that's the 4 classes that we have in this form of racing. Right, so they are going around the second of the second S, and then up the Winfield Hill to Westbank, and here it is. This is the tricky one, most magnificent view of a racing circuit found anywhere in the world. You can look across, it seems, the whole of the Highveld. You can look for Joburg on your right-hand side, over to Pretoria on the left, a magnificent view from this Westbank facility up at the Westbank corner. And here they come down. These mighty machines, there's 42 of them in the race. Everywhere you look when this race gets going, they'll be seen. As they come down the IGR hill and then go into the Top Sport corner. Here they come. It almost looks like an S. It's a very, very tight one. And they're into the Continental corner, which tightens on them to the right-hand side. And they go right to the outside of the circuit. See, this is going through Continental tires, round Arwa. You just get your car sorted out, going right, and you've got to switch the weight of the car to the left as you come round over the Arwa hill. And here they come. Look at this impressive pack as they come down towards us. This is the fastest part of the circuit. This is the top speed timing on the left-hand side of the circuit, just next to that Armco as they come down here. And the BMW M5 used for the rolling start lap is going to get ready to pull off the circuit, and Ben Morgenrood is slowing it down. He has the option of dictating the pace of this race as they come across the line. They've got to be behind him, so he does it where he's got the most power, possibly in second gear, and as they dash for Gant's corner. Morgenrood starting to accelerate. Now the light has got to change. It's red at the moment. It's got to change to green, and he starts to pound. And Hennie van der Linden, they're ready to go. It's still red. It goes to green, and this race is on. And now it's a neck-and-neck struggle into the first corner. Gant's is Morgenrood on the inside. Hennie van der Linden goes round the outside into the lead and taking up. Oh, and Hepburn Look at that for sideways motoring, nearly losing it. The big V8, he nearly lost it there, and already from the third row, Tony Viana starting to enter the fray. They come around Yellow Pages, and that is horsepower like you cannot believe from that big 5-litre V8, that Mustang engine Ford. The animal is there to give the crowd a thrill, and he's right on the tail of Morgenrood. Hennie van der Linde starting to make his presence known at the front of the field. He wants to make this a double. He won here the last time at record speed ahead of Viana and Hepburn, and Morgenrood had gone farming a little bit as they go down Wesbank. Let's watch this power down the hill. They're dealing with monstrous horsepower. No room there for Willie Hepburn as he comes out of Wesbank down the RGR hill. Floated through. There's a very fast corner to be inside one of these motor cars, and now the G-forces go the other side with his, and Hepburn starting to mix it there. The Sierra's starting to mix it. He's squeezing him out, and Morgenrood's got the advantage to go round the R with left-hander. Viana's right in there as well. There's Sorensen keeping it. It's Hennie van der Linde. The maestro Tune himself is in the front, and Hepburn's gone a second. The animal's gone a second, and Morgenrood now very fast around the windy bits of Kyalami. Has got to make another plan from pole position. He's done it already. This is where he went off in the last race. He's going a bit wide, and watch the power of this big V8 as he comes round here. Hepburn comes through the inside and powers that V, and he's only a car length behind him as they go for Gantz. Then it's Tony Viana, then it's Dick Sorensen, then it's Brian Bezuidenhout in that Vista Home Skyline. Look at the power of that V8. He's giving the crowd a thrill here, and this circuit has certainly started to fill from early this morning. Morgenrood's gone into second. Hepburn's got to make another plan now. He's got the power to do it as Hennie van der Linde goes on his way in the front. He's sliding that big powerful machine around. That Nissan, that 300, it's a V6 3-litre with turbocharged horsepower. Now Willie Hepburn trying to make a plan as he comes up onto the brake markers, as he comes up to Wesbank, close onto him. They've got to feed in that power carefully, and here comes Viana using only 4 of his 5 gears. He had to put a lower diff in as he comes round, but we'll be seeing Viana in very much more prominently in the later stages of this race. He's fighting that big BM. He comes up from Velkom, and Tony Viana, they must never underestimate him. So he should make a strong showing later in this race.
Nog steeds aan die voortou Hennie van der Linde met sy Nissan 300 ZX, en in die tweede posisie dan die man van Randfontein, Ben Morgenrood, en sy Mazda RX7. So 900cc enjinkie daar, die wankel engine wat ons almal al oor die jare baie goed leer ken het. En agterom Willie Hepburn probeer in sy glystroom inkom. Gaan hy iets kan regkry daar? Nog net nie naby genoeg nie. Net so flitsie daar aan die agterkant van Tony Viana as hulle daar deur die NTN draai kom, nou op pad in die National Panasonic draai daarso. En Willie Hepburn druk sy neus amper daar heeltemal daar in Ben Morgenrood se Mazda in, en kry net nie die gaping om verby te kom nie. Nog steeds in die voortou Hennie van der Linde. Dit lyk vir my dit gaan regtig 'n wedren hier sou wees tussen die eerste 3 motors, en aan die buitekant lyk dit vir my daar so as dit Willie wat daar probeer verbykom. Kyk net hoe gly daai Sybat Sierra as hy daar deurkom. Lieflike skoots hulle daar kom. Elke druppeltjie van die baan word gebruik. Skiet oor aan die regterkant van die baan toe. Die radverwisseling af, en dan deur die 90 grade geel bladsy draai. As Roger altyd sê 300 tree, dan is dit die Topsport S 'n geweldige moeilike deel van die baan hierdie, want jy moet die regte manier in die eerste S ingaan om uit te kom. Kyk hoe gly daai motor. Kyk hoe gly daai motor daarso van Willie. Die Sybat Sierra as hulle daar die tweede Topsport S kom op daarso die heuweltjie, die Winfield heuwel. Op pad na die Wesbank draai Hennie van der Linde redelik gemaklik voor, en mens kan sien hoe hard rem Ben Morgenrood daar om die regte lyn te kry as hy in hierdie draai kom, en dit lyk tog vir my amper of Ben 'n bietjie van Willie gebruik 'n bietjie ekstra van die baan wat daar nie regtig beskikbaar is nie, en af van die mynskag. Deur die linkerhand se draai as hulle daardeur kom, nog steeds aan die voortou Hennie van der Linde, dan Ben Morgenrood wat op sy stert sit. Kyk hoe wyd gaan na die Sierra van Willie Hepburn. Deur die Continental draai na regs. Kyk nou net hoe gly daai motor daar so uit. Lieflik gehanteer, daai klein mannetjie, en mens sien hom altyd met sy arms tot by sy elmboog vol grease, en dit is hoe hy sy kar voorberei. Hy weet hoe om 'n motor voor te berei, en hy's 'n V8 specialist. In die tweede plek daar sien ons om Ben Morgenrood deur NTN draai, geweldige hoë snelheid sit daar kom. Ons kan sien hulle gebruik die sementoppervlakte nou deesdae ook al om 'n bietjie ekstra baanoppervlakte te kry vir die moeilike draai daarso. En dit lyk vir my tog Ben Morgenrood kom aan die binnekant. En die hoofpylvlak af, hy duik weer agter hom in. Ons kyk wat gaan nou gebeur in die Gantz draai. Hy's in die glystroom. Hy het net nie genoeg snelheid of krag om verby Hennie te kom daarso nie. Nek aan nek gaan hulle daar deur. Hulle raak so te sê aan mekaar. Ek hoop net nie een van hulle val nou van die baan af nie. Dit lyk vir my Ben gaan aan die binnekant probeer inkom, maar Ben blok, maar Hennie blok kom en hulle rakeling so daar mekaar so daar deur die geel bladsy draai gaan. Absoluut fantasties hierdie Wesbank gemodifiseerde motors, en ons het gister gesê dit gaan die beste wedren van die dag wees, en hier is dit nou waarlik so. Deur die eerste Topsport S, tweede een, en dit lyk vir my Willie begin so eventjies agterraaks, laat deur die tweede S gaan. deur die Topsport S nou die Winfield heveltjie op pad na Wesbank teen. Dit lyk vir my tog asof daar miskien 'n hanteringsprobleem daar so is met die motor van Hennie van der Linde, want Ben Morgenrood sit reg op sy stert. Hy van die binnekantste lyn, hy lyk so asof hy aan die binnekant wil deurdruk. Af van die mynskag. Na 3 rondes is die volgorde nog steeds van der Linde, Morgenrood, Hepburn, Tony Viana, Dick Sorensen en Gary Dunkley in die 6de plek. Deur die tweede IGIS daar in die Continental draai in. Mens kan sien Hennie van der Linde se motor. Gister het hy so 'n bietjie gehoes en geproes, maar definitief vandag geen probleme nie. Ben Morgenrood, 'n man wat ons baie goed ken. Sy voorbereiding is absoluut fantasties en nie veel van probleme op die renbaan self nie. Willie Hepburn het nou self weer nader geskuif vir die 3 motors, eerste, tweede en derde, heeltemal bymekaar as dit daar deur die NTN bearingsdraai kom. Kort stukkie pylvlak en dan word daar hard op die rem gespring, een rad verwissel onder toe, seker derde rad toe en deur die linkerrand se draaisel daar kom en dit lyk tog vir my asof die druk baie hard op Hennie van der Linde gesit word. Daar deur die man van Randfontein, Ben Morgenrood, as hulle hier verby ons kom. Daar is so te sê niks tussen hulle, is hulle daar in Gans ingaan en weer eens kyk byna aan die binnekant, maar net nie die snelheid om daar aan te kom nie. Natuurlik die snelheid ook self so hoog om aan die binnekant te gaan, sal bietjie van 'n groot kans wees. En beweeg hulle nou en Ben duik aan die buitekant. Gaan hy iets reg kry hier in die geel bladsy draai? Gaan nou hou hy styf in die linkerkant en miskien kan hy aan die linkerkant verbykom voor hulle Topsport daar duik hy uit. Maar ek dink hy die snelheid om daar aan te kom nie en hy druk net bietjie weer sy neus daar agter die ZX in. Weer deur die Topsport S en kyk hoe gly daai motors hulle daar kom. Absoluut fantastiese hanteringsvermoë van hierdie eerste 3 renjaars.
Well, Van der Linde certainly got a fight on his hand there as they come up on some of the slower cars. These are 1300cc cars. The Class N, he's got him. Morgenrood has got him. As he went round, they went on the inside. And look at the traffic. And Hennie van der Linde's got that slow traffic. It's the earliest they've ever arrived on the slower cars. And Morgenrood's keeping him out there as he goes across the road. And I think we've got a war on our hands. Van der Linde's car smoking. I think that's tyre rubber hitting the mudguard, I should imagine, unless he starts to slow. But Tony Viana fans, I'm afraid he's 5 seconds behind Willie Hepburn. He's got to start making a show of things now. Van der Linde seems to be slowing, but this race far from over. This is on the 5th lap at the moment. I think that was tyre smoke coming up, or hopefully it's tyre smoke. Is closing in on him is the Animal, the V8. Let's have a look. That looks like could be tyre. Or is it coming from the motor? He's still going another lap, that's for sure. We'll watch him as he comes past our commentary position. But he's battling with a motor car. You can just see how these cars are battling on this road. They are producing horsepower like normally aspirated Grand Prix motor cars. They weigh a lot more, of course. A Grand Prix car is 500 kilos. And the new lap record did 131.3. So that's the 3rd lap record that we've had here this afternoon. We've had 2 in the motorcycles, Clive Spencer and Wayne Doran. And here we've got Ben Morgan. Hennie van der Linde still in the hunt there. Not quite as aggressive. I think he's just summing things up. The smoke seems to have gone, or has it? We've passed the halfway mark. You can see there's just those 17, 18 kilometers of this race to go. It's 3,74. That car is a real handful. And so is this one. And what happens is 2 types of compound of tyre they can use. You find that if they use the heavier ones like the BMW or this car here, which weighs 1,300 kilos, or that one which weighs 1,400 kilos, you find that the softer compound goes like molten rubber and the car starts to skate all over the road. If you use the harder compound, of course it lasts longer, but it doesn't grip the road as well. So they've got to make up their mind what they want, and normally Viana selects the harder option and then starts to make a showing late in the race. And look at this force sliding through the corner as Viana closes. Maybe the Viana fans now have got something to shout about. He's starting to close in on Willie Hepburn. Those tires are definitely going up. You can see them fighting with those motor cars the whole way. They come past Trevor Pipes, come down. That's him on the left-hand side of the road on the little Opel there. Hepburn comes through and closing is Viana. Never underestimate Tony Viana. Look, he's amongst the pack already. He's got Willie Hepburn. There he is in that Sierra XR8 ahead of him. He can see the big turbocharged Nissan sliding and whispering its way around here. And only with 4 gears that he's using, he put a much lower diff in. Tony Viana is very much in contention. Morgenrood is going out in the front there. Here's the Winfield BMW. How well he drives. Tony Viana is going to move up to the Transvaal shortly, and he's starting to close. As I say, he's the winningest driver. Never underestimate Tony Viana while he's in a motor car, and it is still running. He's leading this class at the moment. Morgenrood has had 3 wins this year so far in that Mazda. Tony Viana has had 2. Hennie van der Linde has had the one at this last meeting as he goes out of there. There's Van der Linde. And that's where the other race is. It's Viana now closing on Willie Hepburn as they come down the hill. But they've got a long way. I see smoke coming out of Van der Linde's car. I'm sure you see it too. Let's have a close. That's the flame out the side. That's the exhaust pipe coming out of the wastegate of the turbocharger. You hear it squeaks as it comes out. You hear it very much on rally cars that come down towards us. This is the end of 7 laps. Still going nice and strong there. Looks like he's had a bash too. It's bashed against the front tire. And here's Viana making his move, starting to attack with Willie Hepburn, who's battling with that massive horsepower. There's no doubt about it. Kyalami feels to be slippery today. We've seen a lot of slipping and sliding from the motor cars, jittery looking motor cars on the circuit. They come up the National Panasonic hill, and here's Viana starting to move in. Just hearing Hepburn's car come past us. There's the top speed of the car. That's the fastest in this race so far. 270 doesn't mean too much, I think, to too many people that have come up in Brian Rowlings. He's in the Cornwright Motors little Mazda. Is he going to make his move now? Is he going around the outside? Not if Willie Hepburn can help it. It's a feature of these races that none of these drivers drive with gloves on. Out to the Sharks. 7 laps are gone in this 10-lap race. So we've got about 11 kilometers in this race to go. And it's slipping and sliding. The circuit looking very slippery, Graham.
En Tony Viana se hande oral soos 'n stuurwiel. Tony duik aan die binnekant verby. Tweede topsport is daar. Lyk vir my Willie het miskien 'n probleem. Ek hoor die toer is hier so baie hoog as hy verby ons gekom het hier. Kom ons kyk of Willie weer gaan probeer hierso in Wesbank. Tony Viana die derde posisie geneem in die Wesbank gemodifiseerde motorwedren en agter hom sit Willie Hepburn daar. So jy kan sien hoe gly daai motor van Willie is om so gooi hom maar hierdie draai te kry. En hy probeer aan die binnekant verbykom, maar Tony sny hom so 'n bietjie af en Willie kom aan die binnekant verby weer by die IG draai. Kyk hoe gly daai motor is, lieflik, skoot as hulle daar deurkom. Absoluut fantasties. Dit is motorwedren uit die boonste en weer eens gaan Tony aan die binnekant verby. Kyk hoe gly daai motor van daai Sierra van Willie. Willie steek sy neus weer agter in die agterkant in en is nou natuurlik hier af in die pyvlak. Wat gaan hier gebeur? Die twee motors hierso, die Winfield BMW en die Sierra, kom hulle af na die NTN draai. Wie gaan uitchicken hierso? Hulle kom aan die draai en Willie gaan eerste deur. En dit lyk vir my op hierdie een ronde het hulle 3 of 4 keer die posisies verwissel. Willie Hepburn nou aan die voortou as hulle deur die National Panasonic draai kom en seker Tony gaan nou weer mens kan sien hoe gly daai motor. Dit lyk vir my die ewenaar van die Sierra van Willie is nie so lekker op hierdie stadium nie, maar die binnekantste wiel tol so bietjie as hulle daar deurkom. Van die stadiger motors ook 'n Sierra daarso, maar in geen kontensie daarso met die groot V8 daar, die Sierra van Willie Hepburn nie. Sien van die stadiger motors en Tony duik weer aan die regterkant verby. Gaan hy hom hierdie keer toelaat neer as te veel stadige verkeer en Willie gaan weer eerste daarin. Die toere is geweldig hoog hierso in Tony Viana se 3.5 BMW en ewenaar is net verander net voor die wedren. In die eerste topsport is, kom ons kyk wat gaan gebeur as hulle hier opkom. Neville Tillman aan die voortou. Miskien bietjie in die pad 2 rondes oor in hierdie wedren en Tony duik weer aan die binnekant verby want die hanteringsvermoë van die BMW is heeltemal beter deur daardie seksie van die baan. Hepburn beweeg aan die buitekant. Kom ons kyk wat gaan gebeur hierso. Is daai stadiger motor hierdie keer miskien in die pad of nie? Hy moenie daarin sny nie. Hierdie V8 is 'n baie swaar motor. Kom hy daar aan die binnekant. Tony Viana nog steeds aan die voortou en hierdie keer kry Willie dit nie reg nie. Willie beskryf kyk nou gooi Willie daai motor daar so as hy. Nou is Willie aan die buitekant. Hy wil in 'n beter posisie wees vir die Continental draai. Bly sy aan syle raak aan mekaar as hulle daar deur IGI gaan. Maar Willie het definitief hanteringsprobleme. Mens sien hoe ruk hy daardie stuurwiel van links na regs die hele tyd en Tony Viana is weg, lyk dit vir my. Het Willie 'n papwiel gekry. Kyk hoe gly daai Sierra daar die hele tyd. Tony Viana wat nou weggekom het daarso van Willie Hepburn af as hulle daar deur die ouer draai kom en hulle kom hier oor die heuweltjie en Tony Viana gaan nou moet veg vir die tweede posisie. Is dit nodig? Kan hy miskien vir Hennie van der Linde vang? Die gaping tussen van der Linde en Viana is 11.8 sekondes of 472 meter. Spyk uitgewerk, kerels. Ons het nie tyd om sulke dinge nou uit te werk daarso nie. BMW nog steeds aan die voortou daar van die Sierra. As hulle deur die National Panasonic draai kom, geweldige lang draai as hulle daar deur kom. En het lyk vir ons is in die laaste ronde van hierdie wedren. Ons is nog steeds saam met die manne in die derde en die vierde posisie. Verder terug na dan is dit dan Dick Sorensen, Gary Dunkley, Larry Wolford en sy Mazda is ook daarso en dan Brian Besaidnout met die ander Skyline in die 8ste posisie. Volgens nog steeds vir Willie Hepburn as hulle daar deur kom. Kyk hoe gly daai Sierra. Ek is seker Roger dat Willie 'n probleem het met daai Sierra op hierdie stadium.
I think all these big motor cars are really battling with their tires on this hot road today. There's no doubt about it. They've got to almost feather foot the power onto the ground. You can see they're going sideways. I mean, it's monstrous horsepower that they are dealing with. There it is again. It's either oil getting on or that circuit is very slippery or those tires he selected the wrong compound. But what a show he puts in. This little man with a big heart that goes out. There's Morgenrood on his way to win it. He's winning the Class A or the Unlimited class. That's up to 5-litre cars. In Class B, we got Dick Sorensen that saved at Skyline as Morgenrood comes through that car looking very nice, untouched and unscathed. Sorensen's ahead of Gary Dunkley in his Porsche, and Larry Wolford in the Mazda, and Brian Bezuidenhout. In Class C, turn up for the books there is that Johan van Rensburg is leading in the stands. You don't know what's happened to Peter Lance. David Repsol's next in the little Toyota Conquest, and Brian Cook next in his Golf. And in Class D, it's Johan could see George Bezuidenhout and Simon Krobler. As he comes round to get the flag, this is going to be a great win there for Ben Morgenrood, a well-prepared car. Hennie van der Linde is not going to make his hat-trick. It's not for want of trying, that's for sure. And you see that wheel coming off that Volkswagen. Here he comes to the line to get the flag now. Here it is. The flag goes out for him from John Wheeler. Hennie van der Linde comes through in second position, and Tony Viana powers it through to third, and happy with the third with it looks like here he comes. There he is. That big Sabiat here, the animal that's a real handful on the circuit this afternoon, this monstrous horsepower, and he's fought it through to fourth position overall. And then the 3-litre class, Dick Sorensen is in the Sabiat Skyline ahead of Gary Dunkley in his Porsche, and Larry Wolford in the Mazda. And then in Class C, it's Johan van Rensburg. Here comes Dunkley now. That's Dick Sorensen coming through in the Skyline. There he is, and there's Gary Dunkley coming next in the Porsche. There's, and Brian Bezuidenhout losing it. Just behind Larry Wolford in that Sabiat Mazda. Here he comes. The Mazda again, Bezuidenhout in the Skyline. He just nearly lost it in his quest to get there past Larry Wolford. Two very talented drivers. So the overall results, Ben Morgenrood, a very fine win for him in the Mazda RX7. Hennie van der Linde next in the BP Nissan Turbo. Third, there's Tony Viana to fight his way through to third, ahead of that ill-handling Sierra with Willie Hepburn, Dick Sorensen winning Class B, and Gary Dunkley, as you see. You're going to be back with us later. That's the action from Kyalami for the moment, as we return you to the Top Sports studio.